In a war that has shattered Sudan, a flicker of hope emerges. The Rapid Support Forces say yes to a US-led truce. But behind every ceasefire promise, foreign powers arm both sides, the UAE, Egypt and others, fueling famine, death and denial. RSF soldiers, laughing, filming themselves beside the dead. As Washington pushes for peace, Sudan's warlords prepare for the next round. Sudan's paramilitary Rapid Support Forces agreed to a proposal from the United States and Arab powers for a humanitarian ceasefire and is open to talks on a cessation of hostilities. On November 6th, in an official statement, the group said,
"The Rapid Support Forces also looks forward to implementing the agreement and immediately commencing discussions on the arrangements for a cessation of hostilities and the fundamental principles guiding the political process in Sudan."
The announcement, which the Sudanese army did not immediately respond to, comes less than 2 weeks after the RSF took over the famine-stricken city of al-Fashir, consolidating its control over the vast western region of Darfur. US President Donald Trump's administration has said it was working towards ending fighting in Sudan. A US State Department spokesperson on November 6th said the United States continued to engage directly with the parties to facilitate a humanitarian truce.
We urge both sides to move forward in response to the US-led effort to conclude a humanitarian truce, given the immediate urgency of de-escalating the violence and ending the suffering of the Sudanese people.
Both the RSF and the Sudanese army have agreed to various ceasefire proposals during their 2.5-year-old war, though none have succeeded. Earlier this week, the Army-led Security and Defense Council met but did not give a definitive answer to the proposal, though influential leaders and allies within the army have expressed their disapproval. International alarm has grown since October 26th, when the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces seized the key city of al-Fashir in Sudan's Darfur region from the military and reportedly went on a rampage. Witnesses and aid groups say fighters have killed hundreds of civilians and the fate of thousands more is unknown. The war began in 2023 when the RSF and the military, which together ruled Sudan after crushing a pro-democracy movement, turned against each other and caused the world's worst humanitarian crisis. The independent newspaper, citing a Sudan-based researcher and policy analyst, reported that there are many outside powers backing Sudan's warring sides, helping to fuel fighting as atrocities mount. According to the report, the first in the list is the United Arab Emirates. Tiny in size but enormously wealthy, the Emirates supports a network of factions across the region to spread its influence. Since the 2011 Arab Spring, the UAE has used hard and soft power to counter Islamist groups across the region, which it views as a threat. According to reports from the State Department's Bureau of Intelligence and Research and the Defense Intelligence Agency, the United Arab Emirates significantly expanded its arms supplies to Sudan's Rapid Support Forces from late summer into early fall. US official familiar with the reports who spoke on condition of anonymity said,
US intelligence assessments for many months have found that the United Arab Emirates, a close US ally, has been sending weapons to the RSF. 2 intelligence reports issued in late September found that the UAE's provision of weapons to the RSF had increased from late summer into early fall. The reports from the State Department's Intelligence Bureau and Defense Intelligence Agency found the weapons included Chinese armed and unarmed drones, heavy machine guns, small arms, mortars, and artillery.
The UAE, however, denies backing the RSF.
We categorically reject any claims of providing any form of support to either warring party. We supported efforts to achieve an immediate ceasefire, protect civilians, and ensure accountability for violations by both sides.
On the other side, Egypt has also been accused of supporting the Sudanese military. According to the independent report, Egypt's support for the Sudanese armed forces is rooted in years of close ties between the two countries' militaries. With their long shared border, Egypt and Sudan have key strategic interests driven by the Nile River, which snakes through both countries, and their position along the shipping lanes of the Red Sea. Those interests have outweighed Egypt's concerns over Islamist influence in the Sudanese military. Sudan-based researcher and policy analyst Hamid Khalafallah, speaking to The Independent, said,
Egypt prefers a military-run government in its southern neighbor, seeing it as a more reliable ally than a democratic civilian government.
Egypt, like the UAE, has denied providing arms to RSF and has called for an immediate truce. In an interview this week with NBC television, Egyptian Foreign Minister Badr Abdelati said,
There is no military solution in Sudan. There must be pressure on all outside powers to stop the flow of weapons. There must be a humanitarian truce leading immediately to a ceasefire.
The most powerful nation in the list is the US and its allies in the Quad. The US brought together Egypt, the UAE and Saudi Arabia in a mediating group called the Quartet, or Quad, to work for an end to the war. In September, it issued a peace plan calling for a 3-month humanitarian truce, followed by a 9-month political process. The Trump administration's point person, Masad Bulo, senior advisor for Arab and African affairs, told the Associated Press that
the U.S. is working with both sides to finalize a truce. The attempts to push the RSF and military into direct negotiations have failed. Instead, the U.S. should work to get the outside powers to stop supporting the warring parties. There is no single country better placed to do this than the United States.
Unbothered and triumphant, the fighters laughed as they rode on the back of a pickup truck, speeding past a row of 9 dead bodies and into the setting Sudanese sun.
Look at all this work. Look at this genocide.
One of them jeered, his voice thick with pride. Another turned the camera on himself and his comrades, their Rapid Support Forces badges glinting on their chests as he declared,
They all died like this.
The footage, verified by the BBC, depicts one of the deadliest atrocities in Sudan's civil war, with humanitarian officials estimating over 2,000 killed during the RSF's October assault on the city. The International Criminal Court said November 3rd it is investigating whether the RSF committed war crimes and crimes against humanity. Videos reviewed by BBC Verify show the paramilitary executing civilians, torturing captives, and blocking food supplies. One clip captures a fighter shouting at a bound man before forcing him to beg for his life.
I swear to God you will pay for this, you dog.
One commander, Abu Lulu, was filmed executing prisoners, declaring coldly,
I will never have mercy. Our job is only killing.